Welcome to
theories
of the third kind.
Welcome. First off, I want to say thank you to whoever you are listening or watching for opening your minds to receive extra knowledge nuggets each week. It means a lot to all of us, and we want you to know that. Also, before we start, since you are a premium subscriber, remember that you get priority in topic suggestions.
So feel free to shoot those suggestions on over to us by email. Sorry. We just got done eating some really hot chips. You'll see it at the end of the episode. Dan will stick it at the end of the episode. We had some very hot chips, and we just had like 3 each, and I'm dying over here. But anyways, if you have any topic suggestions, you can send that over by email, or you can write us a letter and send it to our P.O. box, which is located on theoriesofthethirdkind.com. Click on the contact button and scroll down a little bit, and it's right there, our address, where you can mail that letter, and then we'll stick it in Dan's ass.
Which is all going to be on fire later.
Yeah. All right, so today's episode is a Theories Thursday, and you're a premium member. You know how Theories Thursdays go. We each select a topic, and then we don't tell each other about it. We independently research it, and then we present it to each other and to you as well. So with that being said, we have to figure out who goes first.
And since you went first
on regular, that means you go first on premium, which is good because it gives me time to recover because I cannot feel my mouth right now. Woo. Those chips were hot. Spicy.
They were spicy.
All right. So for your Theories Thursday topic this week, I see you have dark oxygen and a picture of a turd.
Pretty much. It looks like a turd.
Okay.
All right. So my topic, like Aaron said, is dark oxygen, which I'm going to start talking about oxygen first. Because obviously, dark oxygen, we got to know what oxygen is. Do you know what oxygen is?
Hydrogen.
Think you're talking about H2O?
And oxygen make water.
How many?
2.
I just said.
But oxygen is what we breathe in.
That is right. Now, do you know the process in which we get oxygen?
And how oxygen's made, you mean?
Yes.
It is made through photosynthesis.
A word that I couldn't say through elementary and middle school. Yeah, I hated that word. I refused to say it. Even when I read it, I would skip it.
So why don't you break down photosynthesis? You got me fucking it up now. Why don't you break down photosynthesis for us, Daniel?
All right. If you don't remember what photosynthesis is, I'll do a quick refresher. I'm not going to go into great detail, but I have this.
That's where he injected heroin, ladies and gentlemen. No, that's compliments of a blood donation gone wrong.
Yeah. I'm going to let Aaron commentate since I'll be away from the mic real quick.
Right here? From right here? All right. So what Daniel is okay, hold on. This is photosynthesis 101, bitch. Write that at the top. You can just put synth 101. 01, bitch. All right. So everybody pay the fuck attention, okay? Look, that's the fucking sun. It's hot as shit. That's way far fucking away from the earth, okay? Floating in space. And what's happening in it? It's a big old ball of plasma and shit. Just emitting heat and whatnot. Now, right here, we got the ground. It's planet Earth. We got a plant that's growing. Oh my God, look at that good plant. And the plant that Dan's drawing is a nice...
fucking weird looking thing.
I don't know what type of plant. I thought he was going for a rose, but apparently not.
I don't know how to draw a rose.
It's a cotton. That's what it looks like, a piece of cotton. Anyway, so here he goes. There's a plant, and the sun rays are hitting that plant. And what is that plant doing? It's absorbing those sun rays. It's saying, fuck.
So we got minerals.
Yep, in the fucking ground.
And say, we'll have black rain.
We got rain, water.
So here we go. This is the worst diagram you'll ever see. You got the sun hitting sun rays onto the leaves, hitting the chlorophyll. You got the minerals and you got the H2O. They're going to pretty much suck it up, eat it. The plants are, and microorganisms and stuff like that. And it ends up producing sugar, glucose for the plants and oxygen for us. Photosynthesis 101 by Dan. I will never teach anybody.
Congratulations, you just learned something.
So yeah, that's photosynthesis. I would probably get fired on the first day.
Dude, I would slip a fuck or a ass or shit would slip from me.
Obviously.
And then they would tell the kids, and the kids would tell their parents, and then that'd be it for me.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll never be teachers, even though some say that I might actually be a good teacher. Obviously not. But that is how we get oxygen. And then, of course, a lot of the oxygen actually comes from the ocean, from the plankton and stuff. I think it's like, they say like 50% of it comes from the ocean on top, from the photosynthesis happening there. But yeah, so yeah, that's oxygen. Cool.
We breathe it in.
We breathe it in.
Gives us life.
Why the hell you talking about oxygen, Dan? Well, because last year, there was the discovery of what they are calling dark oxygen.
Seems a little racist.
A little bit, but not really. So, obviously, how we get oxygen is provided partially by the sun, the sunlight. Dark oxygen, no sunlight.
How is that possible?
Well, 12 to 13,000 feet below the ocean sea level, between the Pacific and I think they said like the Hawaiian Islands, there is what they have known as the Clarion-Clipperton Zone, aka the CCZ. Never heard of that. Totally new to me. But supposedly 12 to 13,000 feet, there's a sea floor there, and it's honestly the perfect environment to study like microorganisms, the smallest organisms and bacteria, the single-celled organisms there. And they're all found on like the sediments and rocks and stuff on the seafloor. Now, down on this seafloor, you'll find these charcoal-looking rocks, or, as Aaron said earlier, a turd.
That's what they look like.
Which, boom, there's a picture of the turd in a little tray. What that really is actually a burnt boneless chicken wing.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's not. It looks like one, though, which, unpopular opinion, that is an adult chicken nugget. That's all it is.
A chicken wing?
A boneless chicken wing is an adult chicken nugget.
It is, yeah. I love me some adult chicken nuggets. I usually sometimes go to McDonald's and get they have a special. You get 2 10 pieces. Actually, a 10 piece, buy one, get one free for $5.49. So you get 20 nuggets for $5.49, along with the packaging and everything. That's got to be slave labor involved in that.
You know, that's what they originally were, though. For a 20 piece, it was like $5.49.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to make it sound like a deal.
Yeah.
You're getting the same deal they had back then. Anyways, fuck McDonald's.
Yeah, fuck you, Ronald.
You damn clown, get out of here. We're talking about nodules. These rocks on the bottom that look like burnt nuggets. They're actually like the size of potatoes. But, I mean, they vary in size, but most of them are like size of potatoes down there. They are actually made up of oxides of iron and manganese.
Okay.
And sometimes contain precious metals like cobalt, nickel, lithium, and other rare elements such as cerium, which are essential components of electronics and low-carbon technologies nowadays. But that's not all, though. These nodules were discovered to be generating oxygen without the involvement of organisms, the process of photosynthesis, like we know how oxygen's made. They don't need that.
They're doing it independently.
They are doing it independently.
Which is baffling.
It's very baffling. This is a huge discovery for scientists. It kind of like flips what we really know over. It's like flipping the table like, what the fuck? It's literally like that.
What the fuck?
Because, you know, photosynthesis is how we get oxygen. And now they're finding these little nodules down on the ground, on the seafloor, and they're generating oxygen. And they're like, how the hell is this going on? Well, a statement was made by the leader of the seafloor ecology and biogeochemistry research group at the Scottish Association of Marine Science, Andrew Sweetman. He said, and I quote, "When we first got this data, we thought the sensors were faulty because every study ever done in the deep sea has only seen oxygen being consumed rather than produced." Which, I mean, it would make sense. The further you go down into like the ocean, lower oxygen levels.
Higher the pressure, lower oxygen.
Yeah, but here, the oxygen levels are actually increasing. And they're just like, That doesn't make sense. So when they kept, keep seeing the instruments show the same results over and over, they knew they were onto something groundbreaking and honestly unthought of. Their next question was, how the hell are these nodules, metallic nodules, rocks, burnt little potato things, generating oxygen if they don't have a living organism or have sunlight coming through, to do like photosynthesis and produce oxygen? How the hell is it going? Well, these nodules are actually producing oxygen through seawater electrolysis, which is, where seawater molecules are split into oxygen and hydrogen from an electric charge.
Where's the electric charge coming from?
They are coming from these nodules. The electric charge can come from the difference in the electric potential that exists between the metal ions within the nodules, and this leads to a redistribution of electrons.
Yeah.
And with this electric charge calling electrolysis, oxygen was being generated faster than it was actually being consumed on the sea floor. Because you have all these little small organisms and like single-celled organisms that are consuming oxygen, but they're not consuming it faster than these nodules are generating it, which is pretty damn impressive.
We need some of those nodules.
That's the thing. I will get to that here in a little bit. So the research team was just like, we have to study this a little more. There has to be something weird about it to actually make it generate, oxygen. It has to be these organisms. It can't be just these nodules themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So the research team ended up getting some deep sea chambers where they pretty much put a chamber down there and they isolate pretty much that little area. And they ended up actually testing it for 48 hours, thinking that it just might have been like an anomaly still. And they found out within that 48 hours, there were a plentiful amount of, organism breathing oxygen. And if there was, the oxygen levels should actually go down normally. Nope. The levels actually went up even more.
How deep are we talking?
13,000 feet. So yeah, they pretty much isolated a certain area, tested it. And they're just like, one guy, Jeffrey Marlowe of BU College of Arts and Sciences, who's actually assistant professor of biology, was quoted saying, "We did a lot of troubleshooting and found that the oxygen levels increased many more times following that initial measurement. So we are convinced it's a real signal that they're getting that oxygen is actually increasing and not being consumed."
You think they could have helped out the Titan submersible? It was down 12,500 feet.
Too bad they weren't in this area.
Yeah.
Now, then again, though, these nodules could be there, but would it actually have helped them? No, the pressure probably still would have crushed them.
Yeah.
So with this discovery of these nodules down there creating oxygen, this is where they dubbed it the name dark oxygen. Hence, no sunlight. That's why it got called dark oxygen. So it's not like a racist thing. It's more so just it's dark down there and it's making oxygen. But the one thing that remains unclear is the exact mechanism of how this all happens. Even though they know that it's like electrolysis, it's still unknown how it's really happening. And they don't know if oxygen levels actually vary across this zone down there. Since it's going by these nodules, if there's only a couple nodules here and a bunch over here, is the levels going to be different or not? They don't know. That's more stuff they actually have to study. These were questions that they were trying to figure out because the new discovery of dark oxygen flips the conventional wisdom of how oxygen is generated. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
But it opens even more questions with that happening, a discovery of it. So with this discovery, this helps and provides the perfect environment for the study of planet's smallest organisms and single-celled organisms in the CCZ as a template for finding single-celled life on other planets and moons. Since deserts, volcanoes, and seafloor vents are the most similar places we have to Mars and Saturn's many moons, this actually be maybe we could find something like this somewhere else. Another researcher that works with the Jeffrey Marlowe guy, Scroedel, that's actually his name, Schroedel,
Scroedel.
He said, and I quote, "Life in environments like the CCZ provides an opportunity to study the ecosystems that developed under distinct evolutionary pressures and constraints. Those conditions, the depth, pressure, and aquatic environment, are analogous, that's the word, to conditions we have measured or expect to discover on icy moons." End quote. So take, for example, Jupiter's moon, Enceladus, and Saturn's moon, Europa. They are both covered with layers of ice with no sunlight reaching the water trapped underneath. If these are the types of rocks, nodules that could be underneath that like layer of ice in the water on those moons,
There could be life there.
there could be life there and there could be oxygen being made if these nodules were there as well. And considering these moons and all that, they have all these different types of elements and stuff as well, metals and all that probably. And, that means that they don't need photosynthesis to make oxygen on either of these moons or planets, because there's planets that they supposedly find like oceans or metal-rich rocks like these nodules. And with that discovery and this knowledge, that means that these planets or moons could possibly sustain a more evolved biosphere than we thought possible in the past. Because we always looked for something that could sustain life by growing plants to produce oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
But if we have these nodules,
that's whole game changer.
It's a whole game changer. So that may possibly mean that there's a chance for life to be sustained after evolving these biospheres even more. Space travel, colonization of planets and moons, possibly that there may have already be life on other planets that we don't even know about it. Like, say those moons underneath that ice.
Didn't they find life under some ice here recently?
Did
life found under ice on another planet. No, it was under Antarctica. Antarctic ice shelves. Science has discovered a thriving ecosystem of marine life beneath the Antarctic ice shells, hidden from view. Creatures, sponges, corals, ice fish, and even octopus.
Ooh.
They recently found that.
So that means that there's an ecosystem down there as well then.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff, organisms and stuff, probably need oxygen. So there might be those little nodules down there doing electrolysis down there, producing oxygen. Let's just say we go back and focus on Earth, though. These nodules producing these small electrical charges, they say the amount of electric charge in each of these little nodules is about the strength of a AA battery.
Okay.
Now, think about this. You take a bunch of these nodules and combine them. That's a bigger battery.
Mm-hmm.
What is running on batteries these days that people are selling up? We just say Elon Musk. Cars. Deep sea mining, they want to go in and they're like, we got these little nodules, they're like little batteries. Let's
go mine these nodules.
Yeah, we do that. We don't have to mine on land. We can mine in the sea.
Wonder if there's a way to take those nodules and like create a battery that's underwater so it prevents. I don't know.
See,
I'm not a battery expert.
They want to do that, but I'm gonna get into like the deep sea mining here a little bit. But with this discovery, saying these little nodules have the electric charge of like a AA battery. This isn't something that like humans created. The Earth pretty much created this, you could say. Back in the day, think of the Baghdad battery, Egypt, with like the little drawings look like light bulbs and stuff. This could technically mean they might have actually had electricity back then. If they found like these nodules somewhere else, say, not even at the bottom of the ocean, but like deep in caves or something like that, where there's no sunlight and these metals are combining. Like, it got me thinking, like, maybe they did have electricity back then that actually they were using. I mean, shit, Egyptians had that. That's probably what they used to build friggin' pyramids. Who knows? Well, I mean, they say that the pyramids are kind of like, well, now with like the discovery of those things, they're saying it's like a generator stuff down below. Down below, if these nodules were down there, this could verify that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it has all kinds of new meanings and stuff like that. But then, let's say you say aliens live in the sea underwater.
They do.
Let's say that they're actually oxygen based. You got these nodules down there. They're probably surviving. They're thriving.
Sucking up those nodules.
You think they're probably just like taking these rocks and like putting them in a little backpack?
Not the backpack. They stick them up their ass. They absorb the oxygen that way.
They fill up like a balloon. Yeah, you got that. Then, I mean, it opens up a world of like new possibilities, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is why I was just like, why are we exploring space when we should be exploring more of the ocean? With this discovery, like, I mean, we could be living underwater soon.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, shit, if the world floods, At least we know there's oxygen down there.
It'd be like Waterworld, the movie. You ever seen that?
Yeah, I love that movie.
It's a great movie. They need to remake it.
I don't know. The original was so good, though.
I think they could remake it better.
I don't know. They try to
as long as
remake
they
a lot
don't put
of them.
like comedic relief inside.
Oh, they're going to.
Fucking hate that.
They definitely going to.
They're gonna insert Kevin Hart. Kill me.
Overrated. Anyway,
Or Ryan Reynolds. Fuck, I wouldn't even watch it.
you would go and probably try to stop the making of that movie.
I would boycott it.
But yeah, like, you know, well, we're going back to the cars using electric batteries. There's actually a company, which I thought they had a different name, but it's actually called the Metals Company. Pretty basic.
Yeah, how original.
Yeah, but they actually want to harvest these very nodules so they could actually start making batteries and stuff. And of course, there's other metals in it too that they could use to sell off to make electronics and all that. But right now, deep sea mining has been like stopped. For one, the researchers are stopping it, and supposedly Greenpeace is intervening as well. Because, like I said, the researchers, they don't know with removing these rocks, these nodules yet, how bad it would affect the ecosystem down there.
Not only that, but the tectonic plates.
Exactly. So they put a stop on that for now. But yeah, that's pretty much my topic. But I do have like some rebuttals and questions we could go over.
Okay.
So I did find a rebuttal from the Metals Company and China. So China, they're just like, well, it could be the other way around. It's not the nodules, the metal nodules producing oxygen. It's actually the bacteria generating the oxygen, and that oxygen in turn promoting the growth of these polymetallic nodules. Because I mean, over time, these nodules are getting like a little bit bigger. So I guess in sediments are just building onto it and they're just building up.
Okay.
I mean, if there's like electric charge, there's probably like a little magnetic force too, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So in March of 2025, researchers in China posted a preprint of a study, which has not been like peer reviewed yet, in which they report that 2 strains of deep sea bacteria can reduce nitrate to ammonia, a process that seems to produce dark oxygen.
Okay.
Now, I can rebut that because supposedly in 2013, they actually kind of discovered this a little bit. They supposedly removed the living organisms when they put it in a chamber. They removed the living organism and just left the sediments, these nodules, by themselves. And the oxygen levels still increased. So that kind of rebuts that. So it's like, nope, it's not these organisms, it's these nodules, the electrolysis going on, which you look it up. A lot of people are arguing on Reddit. They're just like, it's not really producing, it's generating by the electrolysis. But wouldn't it like even out though, in my opinion?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that oxygen levels are actually just increasing, but not staying level. I figured that the oxygen levels would actually be almost normal, or at least stay even, but they're increasing with this electrolysis. Because it's like, it's separating the oxygen from the hydrogen, which H2O. So shouldn't it like stay even or something like that? It wouldn't increase. Because then you think if it's separating it, then that means the molecules are rebuilding themselves and the oxygen is just floating freely.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'm not that scientific, not like knowledge based, so that confuses me a little bit. But they argue about that on Reddit. Now, the other rebuttal is from the Metals Company. Of course, they reviewed it because they want to get down in there and pretty much take it.
Mm-hmm.
They say that Sweetman's findings are simply wrong. The Nature Geoscience paper drew criticism from several groups, most notably the Metals Company, a deep sea mining company that partly funded Sweetman's research in hopes to mine the polymetallic nodules for use in batteries. In September 2024, 5 scientists employed by the Metals Company posted a preprint rebuttal, which also has not yet been peer-reviewed. The paper, led by Michael Clark, a marine biologist and environmental manager for the company, argues that the oxygen likely came from air bubbles trapped in the Sweetman's equipment. That would mean it originated in the atmosphere after all and not on the sea floor. Saying, oh, your equipment that you put down there actually took oxygen down with it, and you were just measuring what you took down.
Mm-hmm.
And not actually from these nodules. And of course, you know that they would say that be like, because when we get down there, we take these nodules, we can make more batteries and such. Fuck the ecosystem.
Yeah, fuck the ecosystem. Fuck that. We're going to have earthquakes and shit.
Yeah, so they pretty much said the hypothesis that these polymetallic nodules produce oxygen can be rejected, which, I mean, there's a lot of evidence showing that these nodules are generating more oxygen than that's being consumed down there. But they want to rebuke it to get down there and take the nodules themselves. That's called being greedy.
Yeah.
Which Greenpeace is pretty much interfering and riding all over their ships and stuff, which, good for you.
You're going to get bombed again. I mean, that's what happened to him last time.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just that those are like the rebuttals against it. I mean, I think it's something awesome, to find, and the fact that it changes a lot of things that we know in, our education.
Yeah.
But, of course, it brings up questions on like space travel, under the sea, like exploration, like what else is down there that we don't know. I mean, this discovery was like finalized like last year.
Yeah, and China released that paper, last month?
Last month.
So, damn. It's going to be very interesting to see how this unfolds.
Yeah, and it just, it really does make me think about in the past, like the Baghdad battery, Egypt's, those drawings and such. It's like, maybe they did find
nodules,
and they did use electricity back then. Because honestly, I was totally against it. I didn't really think about it. But now that reading this, it's almost believable.
Yeah. It's a very interesting Theories Thursday topic.
Yeah, it's
nodules in the future.
Dark oxygen. I mean, honestly, when I was writing this up, I was just like, man, this is actually like a really good strange news. But I was just like,
I think it's perfect Theories Thursday topic.
Because it gets you thinking of like all the possibilities of all the things that we've talked about before. The pyramids, Baghdad battery, just all kinds of stuff that actually fits in with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it blew my mind reading about this. And I'm just like, why is this not like a bigger topic?
Yeah.
It's like the metal company could be keeping it hush hush.
Hush hush so they could start, mining operations.
Yeah. And, we could stop mining on land so we won't affect anybody buying land and all that. No, you just fuck up the ecosystem down below and,
yeah.
Who knows what happens then?
Yeah. Well, damn. The more you know. Dark oxygen.
Dark oxygen.
Thank you for your Theories Thursday topic, Dan. If you or a loved one have had any interactions with black oxygen, dark oxygen, please comment down below or send us an email. We'd love to hear from you.
That's right.
Well, with that being said, do you have anything else you would like to add to your Theories Thursday topic?
Nope. I hope y'all enjoyed my photosynthesis class. Photosynthesis 101.
Bitch. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I could have drew better. I wish I had blue for the rain, but yeah.
Nice.
That's all I had. I have these 3 colors.
Black, red, and green.
That's all you need.
Well, your Theories Thursday topic for premium made you think and made you go, And then your Theories Thursday topic for regular was pretty much a mystery, a story.
Yep.
My Theories Thursday topic for regular made you think and made you go,
That's right.
So my Theories Thursday topic for premium is a story.
Oh, we switched it up.
Switched it up.
Oh, yeah.
And the topic title for my Theories Thursday is called Florida Devil Worshipping.
I see a picture here and it's disturbing me.
Yeah, we'll talk about that picture here in a second. And the entire topic all starts off, of course, in the great state of Florida.
Florida, why don't you surprise me anymore?
Particularly in the city of St. Petersburg, Florida. And if you don't know where that's located at, just look at Florida, right? Big long thing. Find Tampa. And right next to Tampa is St. Petersburg.
Is Tampa on the left, on the west, or the east?
If you're looking at a map, it's going to be on the west side.
Okay, so it's on the Gulf side.
Yes. And it's next to Tampa, St. Petersburg is, and Clearwater, which Clearwater is where the main Scientology place is located at.
Scientology?
Yes, Scientology. I went there and drove around the square where Scientology's at and seen a bunch, with my own eyes, Scientologists walking around as if it was just, a normal day. Yeah. Anyway.
They didn't try to recruit you?
No, I didn't actually get out. I drove around with somebody. And then we saw a little kid get on a bicycle and pull out in front of us. And then they rode their bicycle really slowly and then exceptionally slowly whenever we honked the horn until I got out and said, hey, get your fucking bike off the road, kid. And he got off the road and he went on the sidewalk.
And probably started crying.
No, he was a little asshole. Gave us the finger as we were driving away. And I'm like, man, you better be glad your daddy's not here. I'd beat your daddy's ass in front of you.
Damn.
Anyway.
With the bike.
Yeah.
Show you how fast it goes.
All right. So there in St. Petersburg, Florida, which is near Clearwater and Tampa, there is the Lilman Asian Neighborhood Family Center. Now, this family center provides services to individuals there in the community, particularly Asian individuals.
Help me.
They offer after-school programs and literacy programs, which Asians can learn English.
They don't need math help.
Nope, they need to learn English.
I get it.
Yep. So in 2008, a 31-year-old woman named Danielle Harkins, she began working at this Asian neighborhood family center as a literacy teacher. She was just a normal white Caucasian woman.
I'm starting to see a trend here. Your regular topic was Dan. Now this woman's name's Danielle.
I didn't even notice that until now.
I think I'm being targeted here. Next, I'm going to be the story. All right, sorry.
So Danielle quickly became a popular teacher, and the Asian children that she worked with and even her colleagues loved her. They had no complaints. They said she was amazing. However, in June of 2012, 4 years later, that would all change. On the evening of Saturday, June 9th, 2012, Danielle, who was 35 years old at the time, told 6 boys and 1 girl, whom she taught at the community center, the Asian one, who were between the ages of 14 and 17. She told them, hey, meet me at the St. Petersburg Pier at dusk. They were like, oh, okay. They were like,
I mean, it probably sounded like that.
Yeah. So the kids agreed, and a few hours later, they arrived at the pier. Now, upon arriving there, the children found Danielle with her back towards them. She was kneeling down and tending to a small fire that she had created.
Is this pier wooden or?
No, it's
Cement?
it's near the pier. It wasn't on the pier. It was near the pier. So she was tending to the fire, and the flames were flickering against the dusk. Danielle heard the children walk up, and they went, hello. Danielle stood up, turned around, and told them,
it's hello. Sorry.
It's hello. No, and told them, and I quote, demons live inside your bodies. They claw at your souls. The only way to purge them is to cut open your skin and seal the wounds with fire. As she turned around and said this to him as she was standing over the fire. All the children were looking at her and like, what the fuck? What's wrong with her? Surprisingly, all the children were like, okay, cool. Danielle then told them all, before we do this ceremony to rid you of evil spirits that are inside your body, you all must dance around the fire and chant. In which they did. They did that to prepare for the ritual. Shortly after that, Danielle said, I must find something for you to use to cut yourself with. What do you think she got? Think she got a knife out of her pocket?
She probably found a piece of broken glass.
That's exactly what she found.
Really?
A broken glass bottle.
I was just thinking like beach, piers, but you find like probably a broken beer bottle or something.
A broken glass bottle. Handed it to one of them and told them, hey, you need to cut one another to release those evil spirits. Now, Danielle, she hovered like a priestess, guiding their hands, whispering purification, as one of the teenagers used the glass bottle to cut the other one in the back. And then the other one who got cut in the back grabbed the glass bottle and used it to cut the other one in the neck. So it's 2 of the 7 who just got cut in the neck. So you have 5 other ones standing around going, what the fuck?
So one got cut in the back, one got cut in the neck.
Yes. Now,
did they have to, like, was it a specific spot they had to be cut or just?
They just needed to be cut open. One was like, hey, do my fucking back.
The other one's just like,
do
my neck.
Do my neck. That was, well, never mind.
That actually sounded pretty good. Do my neck.
Danielle, do my neck.
You want no? I do your neck. Cut my neck.
Now, after one cut the other one's back and that one cut the other one's neck, Danielle was like, we need to cauterize the wound. We need to close it up. Otherwise, the evil spirits will come back inside of you. So you release them by making a wound. So we need to cauterize it. So she got out a key, just a normal house key. She got out her lighter and started going, trying to heat up the key to use it to cauterize the wound. But it was too windy, and every time she would light her lighter, it would blow out, blow out. She eventually got so frustrated, she started digging through her purse, and she was like, here we go. She pulled out a bottle of perfume, doused the kid's back that had the cut, where the cut was at, and put her lighter up to it, lit it, and caught the fucking kid on fire. She was like, oh shit. Patted the kid down, the other kids and her, patted the kid down, got the fire out. And he's like, oh no. And flesh was like peeling off. It was 2nd-degree burns. And she was like, okay, we don't need to cauterize any more wounds. That's pretty much it. You're done. And after that, Danielle left and the kids were standing around and being like, okay, they left too. Surprisingly, none of the 7 teenagers said anything to their parents about what happened. Even the one that had 2nd-degree burns on his back and cut, and the other one with a cut on his neck, they didn't say anything. What happened was one of the 7 teens text their 16-year-old friend and said, you won't believe what the fuck just happened, and told them everything. That 16-year-old friend told their parents about what happened, and their parents called the police and reported it. So the police started an investigation and they couldn't believe what they found. As they questioned the 16-year-old teenager, so they went to the 16-year-old teenager's house first. They read the text messages and were like, this is fucking nuts. So they got the names of the 7 teenagers. And they went to each one of their houses. All of them were reluctant to talk. They refused. They wouldn't say what happened. They wouldn't say anything. So based on the text message, they used that information, the police did, and arrested Danielle and charged her with child abuse and set her bail at $55,000.
That's it?
That's it. Of course, she was suspended from her place of employment at the Asian Community Center. And we do have a photograph of her mugshot. There she is, just your typical Caucasian female.
Psychopathic look.
She does have the psychopathic look, the white underneath the eyes. All right. So a little while later, her trial took place. And originally, the prosecutor wanted the 7 teenagers to testify against her. Because if all 7 testified, that meant that she would have 7 charges for, actually it would be 2 charges per teenager. So it would be 14 charges altogether. 7 charges of child abuse and 7 charges of aggravated battery, even though she only cut 2 of them.
And technically she didn't cut them, they cut each other.
Yeah.
She just burned the shit out of one.
Yeah.
Wait, so the one that got cut in the neck's still bleeding?
Well, yeah, he just bandaged it up when he got home.
And the parents didn't ask anything? Oh.
So during the trial, only 1 of the 7 teenagers testified against Danielle. The other 6 refused. They said, nope, we're not testifying against her. Of course, Danielle was found guilty on 1 count of child abuse and 1 count of aggravated battery. You want to take a guess at how long she was sentenced to prison for?
None. She was just put on probation.
No, she was sentenced to prison.
Oh. A year. Not even a year, then. A couple months?
A little higher.
6 months.
6 months. She was sentenced to 6 months in prison. And after serving a total of 6 months for child abuse and paying thousands of dollars in court and bond fees, Danielle was released from prison and disappeared. A local news reporter tried to contact her for an interview and went to her home in St. Petersburg and rang her doorbell. She never answered it. And to this day, she has never done an interview. So that leaves us with the question of why. Why did this happen exactly? And I did some digging. And I pulled some records. I learned that on June 1st, 2012. So the incident happened on June 9th, 2012. I learned on June 1st of 2012, she had a divorce with her husband, George. It was finalized on that day.
On June 1st or June 9th?
June 1st. Okay. June 9th is when it occurred, the whole burning thing or cutting thing.
Okay.
I also learned that she had 2 children with her now ex-husband, a 4-year-old daughter at the time, and a 3-year-old son. Also, I learned that prior to the divorce, she had taken her husband to court the year prior for a domestic dispute. So in 2011, she filed a domestic abuse charge against him. And then she took him to court and it was dismissed. So shortly after that, a year later is when she got divorced. And then like a little more than a week later is when she did that ritual. But it is said that shortly after her divorce, which would have been like June 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, her neighbors spoke of Danielle spiraling into extreme religious practices. She began reading books about the occult and Satanism. They said that she was convinced that demons lurked in everyone, even in herself. One of her neighbors stated that Danielle came over to her home, looked around awkwardly, then looked at her, which was the neighbor, and said, "You're okay. No," this is exact quote, "You're okay. No demons in you." And then Danielle left and went back home. "You okay? No demons in you." She's picking up the accent from him.
Picking up the accent.
So that's very odd.
Even though she said everyone has a demon in them, this person was clean.
Yeah. But that leads us to the question, why did she do it? Why did you do it? How can she slap? How can she do it? Was this an isolated incident caused by internal struggles, a manifestation of untreated mental illness, or going through a divorce, her seeking the spiritual and occult and Satanism? Did she fall down a rabbit hole while her mental health was deteriorating? Maybe she assumed that her husband had a demon in him, and that is why he divorced her. She started thinking, no, my husband had a demon in him. That's why he changed and beat me the year prior. And it led her to believe that since she couldn't get justice for him assaulting her, that demons are in everybody and they're protecting him. And she had to get rid of these demons. And she didn't want the children that she was teaching, that she cared about at that Asian center, to change, because they probably have demons inside them too. So she wanted to protect them. And in order to protect them, she gathered them together and did this ritual to get rid of their demons.
What about her kids?
All I know is that she has kids. That's it. I don't have any other information about it.
I wonder who. I'm guessing the father got custody in.
No.
No?
Mm-mm. Another thing that we know is that she was going through a divorce. She just had her divorce finalized. She was living in the shadow of a domestic violence, supposedly. What she needed at the time, we know for a fact, was a therapist. But instead of seeking one, she began self-medicating with a twisted ideological view of religion fixing everything, maybe. And she began seeing demons, quote unquote, everywhere she looked. So those are kind of like the theories, that she kind of had a mental break and saw demons in everyone, and she wanted to save the little Asian kids.
I was like worried about her own kids. Like, if she saying demons in these kids or in everybody, did she see them in her own kids and then try to purify them? I'm guessing not, considering she didn't get charged with anything.
It reminds me of that friggin' documentary I seen like a couple weeks ago on, I think it was on Netflix or Hulu or some shit.
The mother that treated the kids.
The mother who then who told the husband to leave her home. And then she got this like therapist in, and the therapist got 2 of the kids, because there was like 4 or 5 kids, and this was like in Mormon country, I think, near BYU. And got 2 of the kids and like held them in like this secret hidden chamber in their home. And one of the kids escaped. And she was a prominent YouTuber. This woman was like a prominent YouTuber. And one of the children escaped. And he was like skin and bones. I almost started crying when I saw how skinny he was. I was like, man, I feel so bad for this kid. But yeah, she was a prominent YouTuber who painted her life as perfect. And that's what this reminds me of. Something like that. This like belief that there's demons in you and you have to get rid of them, because that prominent YouTuber, her and that psychiatrist she was working with were punishing these kids, like not feeding them and like torturing them, saying that they had demons in them. They had to get rid of them. It's weird. It's odd. What makes people turn to that? I don't know.
Honestly, when you start talking about the, I guess, court case, only one of the kids came forward. It made me think, a lot of Asian families like to handle business themselves. They'd rather not have like the law or the system intervene. Maybe the other 6 families were just like, we'll wait till after this case. We'll handle it ourselves. Because I guess she wouldn't give any interviews or anything like that. Probably wouldn't come out. Probably became a recluse. These Asian families just
nobody knows what happened to her.
Do they know where she is?
No.
Oh, then yeah, they got rid of her.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Florida, I'm going to say Florida. I don't know if there's any like triads in that area, but I'm going to assume so.
Ooh.
And you mess with, and it's an Asian community. There's probably some people that are very protective of their fellow Asians.
Yeah.
And the fact that she pretty much got them to cut themselves and then she burned the shit out of one.
Yeah. By the way, that true crime show that I was talking about is called Devil in the Family.
Oh, yeah.
Ruby Frank turned her life into content for years. As a vlogger, she and her husband Kevin made a living from YouTube, posting videos of their on the popular Channel 8 Passengers about the Mormon family life and parenting their 6 children in Springville, Utah. But in 2023, Frankie was arrested and charged with aggravated child abuse and sentenced to 30 years in prison. This 3-part documentary, Devil in the Family, tells about everything from the internet fame in 2015 all the way to the imprisonment. It shows their 12-year-old boy escaping, and the ring camera footage of the 12-year-old boy going up to his neighbor's house, asking him to call the police, and showing how like skinny he was. It was so like he was so skinny and everything. The neighbor who came up to the door, because the little boy who was 12 went up and knocked on the door, like rang the doorbell, and the older gentleman came to the door, and the kid was like, he was like frantic. He had shackles and stuff around his arms and ankle, or duct tape around his arms and ankles, and he weighed like nothing. And he was like, can you please call the police? I was held captive or whatever. And the guy called the police, and you could hear him the older gentleman talking to the police, and he like started crying because of how malnourished and fucked up this kid was. He was like, no kid should be treated like this. So yeah.
That's insane.
Everyone needs to watch that documentary. It's fucked up. But that reminds me of this so much. But yeah. There you go. Satanic teacher. Did she just have a mental break, or was she really possessed by demons? We don't know. We don't even know where she's at. I did a facial image search and couldn't find her anywhere. Yeah. So if you or a loved one know where Danielle Harkins is, Danielle Nicole Harkins, who may live in St. Petersburg, Florida, comment down below or send us an email. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah. I mean,
why did you do it? Why must she slap? Have you seen that video?
Why you hurt my fellow Asians?
Have you seen the video?
I don't think so.
It's these Arabic guys on this TV show, and this girl walks up and she goes, "Why don't you fuck off?" or something like that. And he goes, "How about you? How about you?" and smiles, and she slaps the fucking shit out of him. Like, boo, slaps the shit out of him. And he slaps her right fucking back. And he goes, "How can she slap? How can she do it?" So that's the end of my Theories Thursday topic. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. And honestly, I was looking up if there were any like Asian gangs in Florida, which I'm not seeing any, but there is one in California. It's a big Asian gang called the Asian Boys. And they rival like some of the big gangs there too.
Dang.
They're Cambodian, Korean, Vietnamese. They're all the Asians.
Every time I think of an Asian gang, I think of Tropic Thunder, that little Asian boy.
This is Flaming Dragon.
Listen here, Flaming Dragon. Just take a step back and go, fuck yourself. Yeah. They're like, that is such a great movie. Tropic Thunder is so great.
This is Flaming Dragon. I have Simple Jack. Such a good movie.
All right.
I did enjoy that one. It almost makes me wonder, like, why didn't the parents say anything? For a fact, they had to know that one kid was burned severely bad. And then the other one comes home with a cut on his neck, or their neck. Then I'm just like, they probably just wanted to handle things on their own.
Yeah.
And the fact that no one knows where she is or heard from her and all that.
They handled her.
Yeah. And honestly, righteously. Just kidding. Not really.
All right.
Cut my kid. Cut you.
That's the end of my Theories Thursday topic. All right. Well, I guess, do you have anything else you want to add, or should we move into just a little bit of free talk?
Guess move into free talk.
How's your weekend? Besides people cutting down your trees.
They didn't even cut it. They just pulled it.
Pulled out his trees. He has 2 trees in his front yard. Somebody pulled down.
So, of course, you know how we feel about the HOA.
Fuck the HOA.
Well, I joked about it, I think, the previous week about how I had 2 trees that they haven't complained about.
They complained about it.
They complained
You
about
motherfuckers turned us in. Somebody did.
Somebody turned us in.
Some fucking asshole turned us in.
Well, I had to pay to get them removed, which I don't know how much that's going to cost right now because they did it anyways. But
I'm calling it $400.
He said it shouldn't be any more than $200.
I'm saying $400. I'm saying they're going to charge you for the removal and the replant.
I'm not paying to replant. Screw that. But yeah, so we had like really bad weather here. Like we had like a freeze, and then all of a sudden it got seriously hot, and then it was like a drought. You couldn't water it. I read it up on groups and stuff, and they're just like, since we're not allowed to use the sprinkler system, all that, I went out and hand watered some of my plants and stuff. The HOA fined them for that.
Fuck the HOA, man.
So it's like, if the stuff dies, then they're going to fine you anyways. So it's like, either way, they're going to find out we don't even have it in HOA, really. It's a property management group that handles it. Because our HOA is not even like fully developed yet.
Well, the good thing is that the HOA handles the pool, and the pool opens tomorrow.
About damn time. People were thinking it should open in April.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to go swimming.
So they removed the trees yesterday. So they sent a letter on April 10th, and they said I had 10 days to remove it, but they didn't send a letter to me. They sent it to the homeowner, who doesn't live here. And then I get the email for it on the 24th. So that's like, what, 14 days after? And then they said I had till the 30th to get it removed, which is today, but they removed it yesterday, and yep, just waiting to see how much it is. So I can be like, no. But then I'll pay it anyways, because, well, try to.
They take our studio from us.
That's what I'm worried about. Who knows what they'll say or do. So yeah, I'm waiting for that, and I hope they don't make me replant, because honestly, I think I like it better without the trees.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember you came pick me up to go to the gym, and I stepped where the tree was, and literally it's like a big, like, it's like they pulled it up and it pulled all the roots and stuff with it.
Like a sponge.
It's like a sponge. And I'm just like, damn.
Soft. I got in trouble by the HOA. They were like, you got to remove your tree in your front yard. So I went out there and I fucking ripped it up with my bare hands.
He did.
No removal company or anything. I went out there and I grabbed it with my hands and fucking ripped. And I'm not talking like a big apple tree. I'm talking like a tree that's like this big around, okay? It's probably
4-inch.
It's like 2 summer sausages put together.
Something like that.
And I grabbed it and I fucking ripped it up with my hands. I got pictures of it.
He did.
It's about a year ago that happened, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I would have done that myself, but then I'm just like, I go through a rent company. I'd rather have documentation of it. And then course, have them do it, then me do it, and then they say I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But anyway, I hope whoever's out there don't have to deal with an HOA company that you guys don't. If you do, we're going to create a fuck the HOA coalition. Didn't I have a fuck the HOA shirt or something like that?
You did.
What happened to that shirt?
Okay, probably the HOA came in, snuck in, and
they probably did. They probably did. They probably snuck in and took the shirt away. Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, it's healing. My bruise that I got. Slowly. Looks terrible.
It does. You went to work out the past 2 days.
So yeah, I didn't think it actually affected me, but man, it actually hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, doing that. I mean, nothing really else exciting.
No. Just normal. Doing work.
Me trying to figure out how much they're going to charge me for trees. I did like the math on it. It's like some of these trees that they use around here for a 15-gallon tree, which is like those small ones still, it's like $250 to $400 per tree, and that's not with the replanting. So I'm just like, this is not going to be good.
No.
So yeah.
All right. Well,
fuck the HOA.
That's what we have to say about the HOA. And if anybody has any comments about them, comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. But with that being said, that is the end of our episode today. We love you. We're proud of you. Without you, we could not do this. And the HOA couldn't get on to us.
That's right. Much love and hate.
We love you and we're proud of you. So that being said, Dan, would you like to roll us out?
Sure will. It's okay to be out of this world with your thoughts.
Because you are not alone.
You think this will burn it? 20 calories. Oh.
How many calories per?
14 crisps for 150 calories.
Oh, that's not bad. The real thing is a Cobb's. 17. That's not bad. That's almost as much as the one. How many did you eat? 3? Ladies and gentlemen, this is being played after. This is played after the episode's done, but I'm actually doing this before the episode.
How many you eat?
Who? A little stale. Don't do one more.
The spiciness helps with the
hot ones. Verde.
That one hit at the very end. Ooh. That was a late burn. Oh shit. Mama.
Why did I do that?
Oh.
Dude.
It's on the tip of my tongue that's worse.
Resisferia toxin. So Carolina Reapers 1.5 million Scoville units. Pepper spray. You better stick this at the end of the episode. Pepper spray is 5.3 million Scoville units. Capskin, which is a substance contained in chili peppers that irritates mammals' tissue. It's fat soluble rather than water soluble. 16 million Scoville units. Resisferia toxin. It's a molecule found in resin spurge, a plant native to Morocco. You want to take a guess at its Scoville heat
40 million.
15 billion. Carolina Reapers 1.5 million.
What's this one? What's this?
35 to 36,000. That's it.
it.
That's it. So habanero is 150,000. Jalapeno is 5,000. Poblano is 1250.
What was in this hot sauce?
Reaper?
Habanero. Ghost pepper. Capsicum.
Yeah, that's 16 million.
That wasn't that bad.
This seems a lot more hot.
Yeah. I think it's more concentrated.
That's hot, man.
Welcome to Days of Thinking.
People are like, quit fucking. That's fucking hot. Oh, man.
It's like on the tongue.
Mm-hmm. Instead of being like like a deep throat burn. It's right there, all like right on the fucking tip of your tongue and right in your face. Doing this, it actually helps. They only rate this heat 4 out of 10.
Well, we bitches. Where my bitches? we here.
We bitches. Imagine doing this. We're trying to tell an episode. Supposedly the Rojo one is double the Scoville units, but I had the Rojo and it was nowhere near as hot as the Verde.
Oh, that was like really hot. And like that hot sauce is supposed to be hotter, but I don't know. Those chips had very a lot of concentrated on it.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm good.